guys? Welcome. Good morning. This is the Don Bird Morning Show. We are here live in full effect, guys. The mic was never off. Good morning. Good morning. You are tuned in right here to the Don Bird Morning Show. We are creating a new realm right here, guys. This is the first day that the morning show is happening. August 11th, guys. August 11th, 2025. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my morning show. We're going to be doing this every morning. I just had to hit record, guys. We just got to hit record. Here we are. Whether you're on your way to work, listen in, guys. I'm live on YouTube right now. Sipping your coffee like I am. Here we are, right? Or building your next move. We're here to get you in rhythm and moving with your purpose, guys. Listen, guys, a quick personal observation that I've made this morning was that you got to get started. You got to get started. Everything I think about, everything I talk about right now is with you getting started in mind, right? Everything I'm doing right now is with you getting started in mind. And that's the one thing that I want to keep in front of you as we go forward, guys, because this is where the rubber truly does meet the road. And, you know, I hit record today. We're going to be live every day. I got the mic. I got everything set up. I'm live on YouTube. You see my background. It's awesome. I love it, guys. I'm here, fresh off the beach, and we are going to be having a good time each morning. I'm going to get better at this every morning, but I want to check your energy today. Let's check my energy today. What's your structure like today, guys? It's 6:11 a.m. on the East Coast. And I had to get started, guys. I woke up at 4:45. I could not let another day go by where I'm not live on TV, not live on the air. And you know what? I don't care how big my airwaves are, as long as I am pressing the button that says go. And we are going to get going for 1 hour. So what's your structure, guys? Are you working out today? I just had to reorganize my calendar because I am going to be with the kids today. It's summer camp. Of course, Bird Summer Camp. We had the kids, believe it or not, we've done a lot of traveling. We've had the kids in a couple of camps. We've gone on a couple of trips. We just got back from the beach. We did a beach week, guys. I'm telling you, we do it. We do it all. You got to watch what we're up to. Check out the channel, Birdhouse Rockstar Show. Me and my girls do a show every week, and we love it. It's fun. My girl, Michaela, is a rising star, and we are going to be putting her forward as well. Now, guys, listen, this is live, so we're going to get better at this every day. I got my studio set up right here. I have the chat function on YouTube. We're going to get that pulled up as well. Hit me up on the socials, guys. I got my phone here. We're going to be checking in live. I mean, if you're up, we're going to try to do this show every morning at the same time. But as you know, these kids are in the way, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to have a schedule that we're going to get started with this summer until the school year starts. And then we're going to jump into a new schedule once the year gets underway. But right now we're going. We're going to have to just do it when we can. And so hit me up on the socials, guys. Hit me up because we are going to be talking about all the things that you know we want to get to. And this is going to be the year we do it, guys. I promise you, guys. You know what's never going to happen? Making a shot you don't take. You have to remember that. That's what the power of one is about, guys. That's what this book is about. Because the power of one is what helps you realize that you can't make 10 shots until you make one shot. For real. And if you make 2 shots, that's twice as much as you made with 1 shot. That's what I'm getting at when we get at the power of one, when we get at talking about progress, talking about starting. You can't get a bucket unless you get in the game. And you can't get in the game unless you have somebody watching the game, clients paying clients. And it costs a lot of money to keep the game rolling. Can you imagine how much it costs to keep the NBA rolling if fans stop showing up, they wouldn't be able to survive. All right. So you got to listen, you can't sell $100 tickets until you can sell $50 tickets. That's what you have to understand about this life. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Pricing ladder. But let's just get into the show right now. This is how the show going to roll. It's going to get better each day. We're going to be talking about whatever comes to mind. When you get the chat, you jump in the chat. We're going to be talking about what's up, what's going on. And then at this point in the show, we're going to do what we call our cannon drop segment, right? I got a few ideas that we're going to be talking about every day. We're going to switch them up. And today we're talking about, don't overplay your hand. Do not overplay your hand. Stop going all in on things you have not studied. Stop doing it. All right? Because that is the number one thing we're failing at as human beings is overplaying your hand. You're going all in on things that you haven't considered carefully. You're going all in on investments and you don't know who the people running the business are. You're going all in on a house and you haven't been in the neighborhood 5 times. You can't do that because you're going to lose, right? That's what you can't do. This segment dives into the danger of overcommitting before you've done your due diligence, before you've done the work, right? You can frame it a lot of different ways, but the work has to get done, guys. And this is about patience and positioning and timing. And this really looks at everything through the same lens at some level. You're overplaying your hand if you haven't studied, right? Excuse me. You're overplaying your hand if you jump at the job without reading the contract, or you're buying the house without knowing the neighborhood or your neighbors or the schools, right? Entering a relationship without knowing yourself, who you are. All of the things that we can easily discuss with overplaying your hand, guys. I want you to know that when it comes to something serious, we have to take it seriously. And let's use a house, for example. When you think about a house, you are talking about one of the biggest purchases that you'll ever make in your life. You are talking about a huge, not only a huge investment, but a huge asset. Huge, both in absolute and relative measure. Think about that. And if you don't do your research on the largest asset that not only you own, but everyone else would own in their portfolio, then you're overplaying your hand. You're being impulsive, right? You are not deliberative, and you won't be able to rise above. How do you think you rise above, guys? Think about the stock market, all right? How do you make money in the stock market? You have to buy assets at a lower value than you sell them. You have to buy low and sell high. Well, how do you think you get to the point of buying low? You have to know what you're buying and do your research on it. And that is the key to understanding how to get into position with what you want to do in life, whether it's a house, a job. A lot of people are out here applying for 100 jobs a week. You don't even know who you're about to go commit to and work for. You don't even know them, because if you knew them, you may have different thoughts, decisions to make. Um, you didn't fully think about your commute. You didn't fully think about your direct manager and your impact on the business. Guys, you have to think about how you make excess money. The only way to make excess money is to get things at a lower value, acquire them, and then turn around and either use them or sell them at their higher value. You got to do your research to do that. That's the only way to ascend. You have to have more money than you need. You have to have value that you bought at a lower value than it is, at a lower price than it is today. And when we overplay our hand, it just creates a situation where you're not able to take advantage of what's going on in the market. And you're not able to take advantage of the resource of your work that you stored, of the value that you stored, and the time that it took to make that money or that resource. So that's what we're talking about, guys, today. We're talking about um, don't overplay your hand with anything, guys. I want you to think about everything in life. But see, the problem is we're so impulsive and we do too much YOLO, uh, too much YOLO. You only live once. No, you live every single day with the decisions and consequences that you have created for your life. And we're too busy saying, well, tomorrow doesn't matter because I'm here today, and that's what matters. Well, I'm going to tell you this. You can overplay your hand doing exactly that. YOLOing is overplaying your hand. You have to think about it like that, because the only way you're going to make some ground up in this world is by understanding how to value assets into the future, right? Future value. And the only way you can come to a future value that is favorable to you is by understanding what you're buying. You have to understand what value is, and then you have to understand what you're buying to understand where value and price are going so that you can make some intelligent investment decisions today. Now, what I just said, does that sound simple to some? But the execution of it is very difficult, right? And does it sound foreign to some? Sure, because you haven't ever thought like that. And that's what this show is about, to really give you the lens to consider things on a different level, right? Because we have to understand that we overplay our hand when we don't do our research. We overplay our hand when we don't know what we're buying, rush into a decision, a job, a relationship, a house, an investment. Um, and that's the thing. You think about it like that, and you're like, wow, how am I ever going to get ahead if I am always buying things for more than they're worth? Think about that. One of the things we got to consider is if we don't do it correctly, we're going to fail and do it incorrectly, which means we're going to pay more for things than they're worth. How will you ever get ahead if you're using money? How will you ever get ahead if you're buying things for more than they are worth? You're going to lose. You're buying homes for more than they're worth. You're working at jobs for less than you're worth, or spending more time than you should. It's so many ways to think about value and price and payment, right? You're getting into relationships that aren't equally yoked. You can't keep getting beat on each deal and expect to come out ahead. Think about that. Every day is a deal in life, right? Relationship, job, home, investment, all those things that you're doing to ostensibly further your position or to progress in life, right? How do you expect to progress in life when you keep getting beat on each deal, right? You're getting beat. Like, you get beat. Imagine every day you lose a nickel. Imagine every day you buy $1 for 95 cents. You getting beat. You can't sustain that. You don't. I mean, if you're getting beat like that, you clearly aren't a good businessman. So you don't have a business. How do you expect to work with your body to make enough money to live your life, to live your life the way you want to and need to live it, but getting beat on every deal? I don't see how you make that time up, make that delta. You can't make that delta up. And you have to understand that in life where there's a certain amount of, say, money allocation that you get. But if you take that money and then get beat on every deal, you overpay for your house. You're not getting paid enough at your job. You pick the wrong girl. You have the wrong friends. You make the wrong investments. How many times do you think you're going to do that and still be able to sustain the life that you believe that you should live? And that is where we are really falling down as a culture, as a people. So here we are, guys. We're talking about it. Normally, people, I guess, would have already gone to a break by now. That's the other thing about an hour-long show. Once you get big enough to do a show where you have sponsors and you have people, man, I'm already 16 minutes into this show and I haven't taken a break yet. But it's cool. This is my first show. All right, so I don't expect that much from this show. It's going pretty well, though. So anyway, we're talking about don't overplay your hand when we get right back from these messages. That's how it would sound, right? But anyway, let's keep talking. But yeah, guys, I want you to jump into the chat. I want you to talk about what it means to you. I wrote a book called Don't Overplay Your Hand. And basically, it's written. I haven't published it yet, but I'm going to talk a little bit about it. I was thinking one morning and I said, wow, some of the most important lessons that I've learned in life are from 4 areas. And I want to write about them, right? I learned lessons from poker, chess, investing, and sports. Lessons that you cannot duplicate. Lessons that had to be learned in that arena. And poker has taught me so much about human behavior and being able to make decisions with little to no information, but also being confident in your decision-making process and being able to truly assess risk, probability, and body language and behavior, and synthesize all of that into the manifestation of playing poker. It's taught me so much about life, guys. It taught me so much about life. And that's where the Don't Overplay Your Hand came in, right? Don't Overplay Your Hand is a book that uses poker analogies and lessons to help you navigate life, right? I'm going to talk a lot more about that book as we go on, but you really do have to think about what you're doing when you are out here. And with poker, it makes you think about what you're doing when you are out here, right? You can invest in stupid hands if you want to. You're going to learn the hard way how that works out for you. And it's never going to work out. Not to mention you're going to lose money, but it's going to stress you out. If you start with poor hands, I'm going to tell you, you're going to lose a lot of hands that were easily avoidable, right? If you play poker, for instance, right, and you start out with an ace, well, just starting out with an ace doesn't mean anything. You have to make sure your ace is a strong ace, which means a strong kicker, right? Let's say you start out your hand with an ace and an 8. It's an okay hand. Nothing to write home about, but if you're holding it, depending on your position, we're going to talk a lot about this. It might be an okay hand. But here's the problem. Here's the decision-making problem you put yourself in when you go and start with an ace. With an ace, a weak ace, they call it. Ace 6, ace 8. What happens when an ace comes on the board? Are you going to bet it? Because here's the problem. If someone is holding a better ace than you, like ace jack, ace queen, ace king, your ace is worthless. You are, they call dominated, right? If you turn over your cards and you got an ace and an 8, and this guy has an ace and a king, and there's an ace on the board, you can't win because he's got the king kicker. So now the only way you can win is an ace. I mean, or another 8, because even another ace doesn't help you because he's still got the king kicker. He's got trips with a king kicker. You got trips with 8. And the only card that helps you in that entire deck is what? An 8. How many cards are in that deck that have 8 on them? Only 3 more, because you have one of them. That's it. So and you got to almost count. One of those 8s got burned. They were either in someone's hand or burned. So you really are hoping for 2 cards at some level, because that card likely is gone and you wouldn't want to bet on this. So that's what I mean with, you got to be sure you start with the right hands. Don't overplay an ace 8. You can't really bet that. You really, in those hands, you back into a win, right? Where no one thinks you're holding an ace. No one bet the ace. Now, if you have an ace, you can cautiously move forward with the top pair. But you cannot play that hand aggressively, overplay it. You're going to lose your shirt. Same thing with a house. You get into a bidding war with somebody with more money than you got to slow down. You can't bet that. You can't push that, right? You're gonna find yourself in a very tough spot in a few months when your mortgage is 50% more than you can handle, but they approved you, so you figured that you could do it, but then you just somehow can't foresee that you're still going to want to do all the things that you did in life, like go out to the movies and go on vacation and go to the beach. You think you're going to want to sit in the house for 2 years as you recover. No, you're still going to want to go out to eat. You're still going to want to go to the movies. You're still going to want to go to the beach. You're still going to want to go to the store and purchase things. Trust me. And you're still going to have all your bills from the previous house, your cable bill, your cell phone bill, all that stuff stays. You get new bills, your maintenance bills, your gardening bills, your landscaper bills, your tree bills. Guys, I promise you, do not overplay your hand. And the poker analogy, if you never played poker, that just went over your head. It's okay. We're going to be doing some poker lessons too. But if you do play poker, you understand. And see, the tuition you pay is the tuition that you have to pay when you do things that you know you shouldn't do. That's the difference between knowing and learning. You can know you shouldn't start with ace 10. You start with ace 10 if you want to. But guess what? You're going to get beat. You're going to get beat a lot. Not saying it's a bad hand, but you shouldn't go into it overplaying it. Because someone actually betting that ace has a better ace kicker than you. They're not holding ace 9. They got ace queen or ace king. And that's kind of the reason you don't start with ace jack. You got to start with ace jack or below with humility, right? Sneaky in a way that you have different cards. Not that I have an ace. You have to start it like, play it from feel. But you got to realize that adds up. Playing this whole thing from feel, it adds up as losses. Because here's the problem with a weak ace. What are you hoping for? See, this helps your decision-making process. It helps you think about your actions and call yourself out. What are you doing? Why are you driving there if you don't intend to do what you're driving there for? Right? You're going to this guy's house. You already know. It's like betting with ace 7. What are you going to bet? What are you going to do next? Play the movie out. Play the movie to the end. If you start with a bad ace in poker, what do you think's going to happen? Let's play it out. What are you hoping for? Give me your best scenario that could happen on the flop. Don't tell me it's an ace. Because if it is an ace, you don't understand how poker works. Because if it is an ace, you got to think the ace is the most popular card. Someone's betting that ace. Are you going to bet with them or are you going to just fold? Well, if you're just going to fold, you shouldn't have bet in the first place because now you just wasted $25, right? Let's say it was a raise. Sure, if you get in there for $2, but see, the problem with getting in there for $2 is you don't know what other people are holding when they have $2 in. So any weird flop comes out, someone could be holding something really weird and you don't know it because you didn't do your due diligence. The betting is the due diligence. It's the information gathering. We can talk all day about poker, guys. But here's the thing. Let's finish it out for the poker heads, though. Play the movie to the end. I'm not doing anything with you tonight. I'm not coming over there. Just come over. I want to talk. All right, now you're on your way. What's your next move? You have to think about your next move. You have ace eight. Okay, I'm going to bet this. Well, you better have a move planned. What are you hoping for? Think about that. What are you hoping for to come? That's the question. Are you hoping for an ace? Because if you're hoping for an ace, you are out of your mind because someone else has an ace and they're going to beat you like a drum. All right. You're not hoping for an ace. Let's say a low flop comes out and you're hoping for an 8 as the top pair. Okay. Let's say someone's holding jacks. You don't have top pair. You just can't see their jacks. What if someone's holding king jack and then a king or a jack comes on the board? You don't have top pair anymore. Literally, your best scenario with ace 8 is what? Trip 8s? Yeah, you gotta be joking. You can't be playing for that, right? Backdoor top pair with an ace. Well, you're gonna beat a lot of people who are fishing who didn't amount to anything because you really won't be able to beat anybody else, but by luck, which only leads to more losses in the future. Because if you won by luck, that means your probability was small. But you see how fast I can synthesize all this? That's years of mathematics. That's years of investing. That's years of actually playing poker and seeing live hands. And that's years of reading and study about this. But because you have to be able to synthesize all this at once. If you can't, you're going to be stuck at the table and you won't be able to make moves. And the reason why you fold ace 8 is because you don't want to put yourself in this situation that you know is inevitably coming, right? If you bet with ace 8. You just got to hope for, the only reason you go in with ace 8, one, to let people know that you're willing to play with any cards. Okay? Let's say you do. All right? 2, you get in there for free, right? You're a big blind or it costs you $2. But what are you going to do with it? You got to understand that. Same thing with a queen jack. Now queen jack is a good hand if you're looking for a straight, but if it doesn't materialize, you got to release that hand because if you get a queen, you have to understand you're dominated. If you get a jack, you really have to understand you are dominated by like miles. Because these are the most popular cards. Everyone's holding kings and queens and aces that stay in the hand. Now, you can get lucky and get trip queens, trip jacks. No one will know, but they'll know eventually when you bet or the way you bet. And if you're trying to maximize your gains, then you have to stay a little, under the radar. And that's the only reason you want to open up your range of hands is so that people can't put you on a hand. If they know you only play with big aces and pocket pairs, well, then you can't really be stealthy with your hands. Anyway, don't overplay your hand. I just went through a whole poker analogy with you guys because that is how it works. That's how you get into overplaying your hand. You think you have a better hand than you actually have from an absolute perspective and an expected value perspective, right? What does that mean? Absolutely. You don't have a good hand when you're holding a pair of 2s. You don't have a good hand when you're holding ace 8. And then expected value is what can you expect over time playing with that hand? A pair of 2s, a pair of 3s, ace 9. You can't win over time with that hand. So you have to take those 2 pieces of evidence, know them to be true, and act on them accordingly when you're in the middle of the game. That's how you not overplay your hand. Now, if you win with ace 8, take the pot. It's your pot. But you're not going to lose your shirt betting on ace 8 is what I'm trying to say. That's how you don't overplay your hand. All right, guys. And I guess that would be another time people would take a break, and we will be right back after these messages, all right? Now, I don't have a break set up. This is my first show. Welcome to the show, guys. This is Don Bird, and this is the Don Bird Morning Show. We are talking about how to not overplay your hand, and this is show number 1, August 11th, 2025. The first show. We are happening. We are happy to be here. And so real quick, let's break into some topics, guys. Some topics. We have a few things going on in the world. As you know, the Eagles Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Birds, go Birds. All right, you know we are the Birds, baby. And so we're looking at a lot of things going on, guys. Headlines happening, and we are just we're just excited to be where we are, and we got the show going on, guys. I'm just really I'm really pumped up. I'm really excited about it. And you know what, man? We are going to be doing this show every day. I told myself, let's just get started right here, right now. And you know, what better way, guys? What better way to get started than live on August 11th, 2025? We are just here. We're making it happen. We got no breaks built in, guys. No breaks. Full hour going on. Um, like I said, the Eagles are Super Bowl champions. The Sixers are struggling. All right. We got a lot of things happening in the world, guys. I've been so busy writing these books, planning this show, getting this equipment ready, talking to you that sometimes I do lose focus and track of where we are and what's happening. Uh, and that's what this show is about, to get us back there. Uh, we really do have to start thinking about where we are, where we're going as a world. And that's what this show is about. It's going to be a platform for us to talk about these things and to explore these topics that we need to talk about. All right. And that's my platform to talk every morning. I'm just going to be here. I'm going to give you my perspective on things as I see them. And we are going to get it going. I don't have a production assistant, so if you would just bear with me when I'm filibustering and I'm talking about a few things and just trying to get into the rhythm of what we're doing, guys. I just think that the updates, the news updates, are so important. Um, and here we are. We're talking about all the things that are important to us and all the things that we have to do to make our voices heard. Uh, we really are taking a look at um, you know, lots happening, guys, in the world. And making money out here is very difficult. Uh, we have to get there though, and I've written books about this, and we want to explore these topics. I'm just perusing these websites here just to see what's going on this early on a Monday morning. So just bear with me here, folks. This is the first show. This is the first show, the Don Bird Morning Show. We're going to be at this every morning. I figured I'd get this done early because we have a lot to do today. The kids are going to be in the way. I wanted to get a clean hour in on camera, on mic. And this is the way I'm coming to you guys. This is the easiest way for me. It's live. I don't have time to edit. So what I give you, I'm getting used to just being prepared with my notes. You know what I'm saying? And, I had to pull up. I got another computer sitting here, which I can easily use my Notion on that computer as my show notes, and then being able to use the internet here to search, or either way. But the point is, it's so much happening right now, guys. We have to find a way to continue to build our economy and make money for ourselves. And I'm in a position right now that that's what I need to do, right? I have built so much, and now it's time to release it. I can no longer wait. There is no more time to plan. There is no more time to think about what execution looks like, guys. All right. What I'm saying is that uh, execution over planning right now, guys. That's the true point that I want to make, and here we are. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today, really not really quickly, but I wanted to get it in there, is this idea that I had about this market price and the ladder that we need to build when we start thinking about things, guys. Because here we are, trying to make money, right? Trying to do things, and we have to think about how to price ourselves. And we have to think about what people can bear to pay you and what you can bear to ask to be paid, right? And it got me to thinking. I said, listen, I need to develop this not only for myself, but for other people who are struggling with how to price themselves. Um, and first, okay, so we got the market price ladder here. Number one is get in the game, okay? Get in the game, because we have to uh, build a way to start to create demand, right? What's the lowest price that keeps you busy right now, guys? If you're an entrepreneur, I want you to look at your scheduling blocks and start filling them up with the lowest price people will pay to work with you, right? Fill it up every day. Fill it up every day. Just fill up those blocks. And then once they're full consistently, guys, right? Once you fill your calendar, you build some proof, you get some results, and you get some word of mouth happening, you got some momentum, right? Let's say you're booked solid now at $50 an hour. You're booked solid, you're busy. Now you have demand. You can if you're booked solid at 50, your time is actually worth 75. They're getting you on the cheap. It's okay. They actually were the first people that trusted you and the first people that paid you. Guess what you just got, though? You got testimonials, you got real work to show for, and you got to understand that's more valuable than the money at this point. All right. Now you can raise your prices by at least 25%, likely 50%. Like I said, if you're doing 50 and you're booked, you can go to 75 with no problem. Because not only will it give you a reasonable level of breathing room, but you will basically be able to, gradually grow your business without overtaxing yourself. Because the marginal gain of one more client is not worth a 10% increase. It's actually worth a 50% increase. So that way, now one schedule block on your calendar is free. You're like, listen, if you can't pay 75 for this next block, then then I'd rather have it, open, right? So now you are at $75 an hour, and your next bookings are becoming a little slower. But if you were booked solid, you should really book solid at 75 if you keep doing the same things. And the hard part, and that's why you need coaching and help. The hard part is, how do I keep the flow coming in if I change the price? You got to have a strong, solid 50, right? And then you can move to 75. And so, yes, so once you get there, you start moving your price up. Those triggers are helping you move your price up. And really, it's people are ultimately paying for access once you get to the level of 75, then to 100, 150. Now you're saying, listen, now you are charging just for access to you. You have so much demand, so much word of mouth. People are calling you. You can put together a pricing model that just really controls the access levels to you. And so when I think about it, I think about market price is your market price is the lowest amount that keeps you busy, right? If you're priced yourself at $200 and you only get one client a month, that's not your price. That's not your price. You have to go lower until you get enough people working with you to where you have to go higher. Don't start with your dream price before you have your dream demand, all right? And raise your prices when the market forces you to raise your prices. When you just don't have any more time for the people at $50 an hour, you're probably worth 100, all right? And each level earns you more freedom, right? Not just money. You got to think freedom. If you're at $100 an hour, you can afford to take half as many bookings, and then you work less, making the same amount of money, or you can afford to hire someone to take some of your bookings, right? And then you think about, what does your pricing model even look like? Anchor your cost of production. That's one of the things I struggle with. How much it costs for me to show up. I'm sometimes a little bit shy about letting people know how much it costs for me to show up and what I need from them. But I'm getting less shy. But what I'm saying is, I need a certain amount of money to show up, right? And really drive your price up as demand rises. That way, no one can say you're overcharging them. You have real building blocks to why the rate is the rate. The rate is the rate because if you don't want to pay that rate, I have so many people lined up that are ready to pay that rate. If you, let's say you charge $150 an hour for your services, and someone's like, I can't pay that. You're like, listen, that's okay. Because, see, and you can say that with confidence when you get to this level. If you have 50 people lined up to pay you $100 an hour, that person has no leverage when they tell you 150 is too expensive. If you don't want to pay 150, I got 100 people that want to pay me 100. Get in line. That's the way to think about this. So yeah, that's really the way you really think about pricing and structure. All right. So anyway, I was thinking about that this morning. I wanted to touch on it. So here we are talking about what we are doing. And that would be another point in the show where I would take a quick break. We're going to put some breaks in the show just so I can get up and, respond to some things and use the restroom. But we're going to get started on doing this show, guys. I'm talking about Monday morning, and it's Don Bird. It's the morning show. The mic has never been off, guys. I want you to join me. We are really embarking on something big right here, and I want to make this a part of your life. I want to make this a part of my life. Every day I wake up, we got our show. We're going to roll through it. We'll look at what went well. We look at what did not go well, and keep it moving from there. So now, section 2, or the cannon drop number 2, the pause was part of the climb, guys. The pause was part of the climb. The pause wasn't a failure. It was part of the climb, guys. And I think about that in so many aspects of life. When has your pause in your life been a part of your plan? All right. And sometimes God gives you a pause in life for growth. And that growth is part of the plan. It might feel like stagnation. It might feel like regression. But I promise you, it is the plan. It is the plan. And I think about my pause, guys. I left corporate America. I started my own business. And immediately COVID hit, right? COVID hit as soon as I got my business underway, which set me back. We had 2 small kids, and we were trying to make it, and we were working together to make it, and I just think back on that pause. And then we had twins, guys. Who knew? Not only did COVID hit, guys, we had a wild ride. We were taxing our bodies from a fitness perspective. We had a global pandemic happening. We had 2 small kids trying to keep them safe. And then we had 2 more kids because we had twins in January 2022. A seminal moment in our lives, guys. So you think about that pause that started before COVID, just carried on for 2, 3, 4 years. But it was part of the climb. Look at all the things that have come out of that pause, guys. We have businesses, Bird Financial Group, BirdBrand Enterprises, Big Legendary Media Group. We have Bird Life Academy. We have 4 books written. We have Birdhouse Riverside. We have 4 kids. We have a house in Lower Marion on the main line. We have multiple homes that we use and invested in. Lots have come from that, guys. And when I tell you, growth is not linear. It's not always linear. And it's not always continuous. All right? It's similar to a climber resting on the ledge. When you think about climbing a mountain and resting, there are seasons when stopping is necessary for the next push, right? And this applies to business plateaus or creative seasons or health recoveries. The pause is sometimes strategic, not a setback. And really, I want to talk about this from a conversation piece about prevention and patience and endurance and delayed gratification. Um, Guys, the pause sometimes is part of the ascension. You can't just go straight up. You got to adjust, right? The air quality, the speed, the intensity, the consistency. All of that matters, all right? And I want you to realize that that is what we're talking about when we talk about, you know, career progression, money setbacks, relationship setbacks, right? Um, I've been married to my wife coming up on 12 years, and we've had a lot of ups and downs, I'm sure. I know that. A lot of different phases of life. And sometimes it feels like we may be uh, stagnant or not moving forward. But you got to realize a lot of times that is part of the recovery. That is part of the planning. That is part of the strategy to be still, right? And you think about it like that. And truly, truly, the pause can be part of the climb there. I've seen it in my life. I've seen it during the pandemic. I've seen it with my 4 kids. I've seen it with my work, my career, my progression, and everything that I want from life, guys, takes time. It takes time. It really does. But anyway, we're going in, guys. We've been 47 minutes strong. I love this time of morning. I think this is maybe when the show should go on. Definitely during the school year, or definitely during the summer, we are going to be doing the show a little earlier because we got to get this show before the kids wake up. If we don't get this show in before the kids wake up, guys, there is a possibility that um, that we will not be doing the show, certainly without interruptions, right? And um, all right, yeah, that's much better. I'm not getting my body cut off anymore. Um, Guys, one, I want to thank you. If you watched this show today, drop me a comment and let me know you did. All right. It would mean a lot to me. Basically, I'll just remember that, like, the people who watched this show, the first show, the first show. I think of this as a radio show where I'm on camera. It's cool. Um, but I'm on the radio. Think about me on the radio, and the camera just happens to be in my face. Maybe I should angle it so I'm not even looking at the camera. This is the radio show, guys, and sometimes you're gonna see me get a little comfortable. But nevertheless, we keep it moving, guys. We're gonna keep it moving. Now, this was a great show for the first show. I'm definitely going to be talking a little bit more about money. So this Money Morning Live, right? This little mini segment, I'm gonna build this out. We're gonna be talking about things from this perspective. All right, you're not broke. Your structure is. And I guess the Money Morning was talking about the price, the market price ladder, and the pricing growth blueprint. And I'm just thinking about how we can keep those ideas in front of us, as important as they are. Really, but talking about ways to develop your wealth and your progression, guys, because thinking about money from the perspective of working hourly for it has to be the most demoralizing thing in the world, especially when you've made more money. If you only know money from hourly work, then you think $34 an hour is king status, right? $40 an hour is king level. It's not. $40 an hour is not anything, but it's enough to keep you moving forward, right? But you have to understand that there's so much more out there, and certainly more ways to make money. Where's our calculator? You make $40 an hour. $83,000 a year. So you can't tell me that you're killing it making $40 an hour. Doing okay. You can make a few things happen, but you better not get ahead of yourself. You better not get ahead of yourself. Think about it. $50 an hour is just under $100,000 a year. Okay, good for you, right? But if all you're doing is 50 an hour, you there's a lane that you have to play in out here. And it's not the fast lane. In fact, you probably can't afford much. If you make $50 an hour, you probably live in the city, in a row home, drive a normal car, and your kids go to public school. There's no, unless you get help, right? Subsidies and family or but in order to get to the life you want, you need to own assets. So we're going to be talking a lot about that, guys, as we get forward into the show. You have to own something so that the value of what you own goes up over time without you working for it. And then what happens also, if you own something, it'll become income producing, and then you can make money from it. And that's where your other money will come from, right? And we got to talk about what it looks like on a macro level. But if you're watching the show, we're certainly talking on a micro level, an actionable level for you right now. My new book, Revaluing America, is going to be talking about things from a micro level or a macro level. And this book really helps you think about things from a micro level. The Power of One has to do with you. Revaluing America has to do with the country and how you fit in that. So that's what we're talking about, guys. I'm getting ready to wrap this show up. All right. Listen, I want you to stay focused on what you're working on, guys. The mic is hot all week. We've been rolling through a lot of different things. I realize this show is going to be a great show. I'm going to spend a little bit more time throughout the day prepping for the show, talking about real topics that matter to you, and we're going to get into just really getting into the show. So that's what I want to do, guys. Don't forget to like and comment, guys. If you've watched this show today, I want to thank you, first of all. Thank you for tuning in to the Don Bird Morning Show. The mic is never off. We are going to be here every morning until you come, till you show up. We're gonna be right here for you each morning, talking about the things that matter most to you, talking about the world as it pertains to your world. All right. I'm going to be signing off now. That was our first show. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. All right. Subscribe to the channel. And please, guys, make yourself known. Make yourself known in the comments. And I thank you again for watching the show. I had a great show, a great time. We're going to build in new things to the show as it goes on. I'm going to be coming to you with a lot of different aspects to the show. And if you watched it, I really appreciate it because it's 53 minutes now. We're live on YouTube every morning, and I want you to start to join me. All right, guys.